Welcome to the next in our series as Apex Communications demonstrates yet another product, the Apex Telemarketer. Apex Communications provides a service delivery platform built around the OmniVox 3D application server and various telephony and communications components, with a primary focus on SIP application feature servers, customer care solutions, and value-added services. Apex's multi-service delivery platform is used for thousands of services around the world. Apex's Access product line helps turn mobile operators into providers of cloud-centric solutions for enterprise customers with all of the core services every enterprise needs and expects. Today, we will join Danny as he demonstrates a popular component of Access, the Apex Outbound Telemarketer, which is often also delivered as a standalone product. Apex's Outbound Telemarketer is a multi-tenant solution which can be shared by many enterprise customers or tenants and used independently. It offers an easy-to-use, high-level management and a powerful low-level application development with OmniView, Apex's award-winning service creation environment. The Apex Telemarketer includes the ability to route calls to an extended IVR menu or to a call center. The Apex Telemarketer campaigns can be used for voice or video calls, as well as SMS. Danny's demonstration today will be focused on the web pages which control the telemarketer's powerful SQL database. Then, Danny will show you OmniVox 3D through its powerful OmniView service creation and OEM&P interface, which allows you to expand your standard announcement-based telemarketing campaigns by creating customized, automated, interactive voice, video, and SMS campaigns. And now I'm going to turn it over to Danny to show you the Apex Outbound Telemarketer.
With that, I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you the web portal here for the Outbound Telemarketer. So if that just came onto your screen, you should be able to see that.
Okay, give me 1 second.
So this is going to be, your page, your window into the actual telemarketer, and it's, as you can see, it is web-based. So
Right.
you would come in and you would type in your username and password. So my name is, D. Gomez, and then my password. Once authenticated, you'll just be greeted with a screen here that tells you, welcome Danny, and gives you information of the last time you logged on.
Okay.
Now from here, you'll have the ability of looking at your list. You'll be able to campaign. We'll get into those in a second. These are the functions that are set as, I am one of the administrators for a particular tenancy. You have the power user functionality where that person will have the ability of creating different tenants. And by creating the different tenants, like you just mentioned earlier, right, you might have Starbucks as one of your tenants, you might have Bank of America as one of your tenants, and then what you would do is you'd create tenants for them as the power user, and then they would come in as the administrators of that tenancy, and of course only see the information that corresponds to their particular, tenancy. So they would only see, their calls, they would only see their lists, they would only see their campaigns. And here it's going to show you all the different lists that you've created. So, I took the liberty in connecting to one of our semi-production systems that we have where we do massive campaigns. So what you would do is you would create your lists, and once you create your list, you can administer that particular list. And by administering the list, it's very simple. You click on, there's a little monitor there with a little sprocket. So you can see here, you click on that, for example, and that opens up your list. And what you're able to do from this particular list is you're able to import the members or the subscribers that you're going to call for that particular list. So if Wells Fargo or Starbucks, we would provide you with the format. It's a comma delimited file where you have all the list of phone numbers of all the subscribers that you're going to call. And those would then be uploaded to that particular list. So as for example, here you'll see it says OTS internal Fabio, and then members is it has 1,704 members in that particular list. And you can do this, and you can have as many lists as needed. There is no limit on our site for the list that you can have. You can purge the list, you can clear the record, you can add more records. So if one list is constructed from say 3 or 4 different Excels or comma delimited files, you're able to upload those as required. From there, you have also what's called a blacklist. And a blacklist will also be either 2 ways, right? A blacklist could be a do not call list that you might have, where you upload. You might have your own do not call list. There's a national do not call list that you would obtain, say, from a third party, and you automatically want to pop that in there. Then that is a global list for that particular tenant where that particular subscriber would not be called. So from there, so that's your initial task, right? You come on. The first thing you do is you get the list of subscribers, your list of people you're going to call.
Okay.
And you throw it on, you import them back onto the system. From there, then you look at campaigns, and campaigns can be done. We have 3 different campaigns. There's email campaigns, there's SMS campaigns, and there's voice campaigns. Now, for a particular, say for example, we're going to look at creating a new campaign. So for you, I'm going to create a campaign that we're going to call it Ivan for simple. So Ivan's campaign, and you'll notice here again the ease of this. This is geared towards your marketing people or people that are not very technical. So it's very easy to use, very easy to manage. So a radio button that tells me it's a voice campaign, an SMS campaign, or an email campaign. The difference is the layout. For example, if we go with a voice campaign, we click on add here. This opens up now my management screen for that particular campaign. Okay, we have a start time, so we have a start date, I should say, and an end date for that campaign. And that campaign date, like you mentioned earlier, could be in the future. So I might start, if it's for Memorial Day in May, I might want to start my campaign later in the month. So I can set that up for to start texting people, say the week of the 19th. When I want it to end. And then I've specified my weekday times and my weekend times. So I have a start time Monday through Friday, a start and an end, and then on the same with the weekend. So I have when it starts and when it ends on Saturday and Sunday. Now, given the fact that you're located in the U.S., it might not matter to you, but we also have a parameter page where you're able to set when your weekend time is set to. And we've deployed this in the Middle East where their weekends are not the same as the ones we have in the U.S. Their weekend might be a Thursday, Friday, or a Friday and Saturday. So you're able to specify when your weekend times are set. We also have holiday times. So say, for example, you can specify a particular holiday. You would enter the date. So, if you want to specify Mother's Day, for example, or like I was giving you the Memorial Day example, then on that particular day, independent if it is a weekday or independent if it is a weekend, we would respect the hours that you've specified for that particular holidays. The next thing that we'll do is we can specify an application, and I'll show you a little bit of where this is all run on our Omnibox 3D application server. Okay, and what that is, this is the engine, if you want to call it that way, that's going to drive the outbound calls. That's going to drive the SMS messages, or in this case, the email messages. Right? It's going to drive all that out. And what that does is, if you're going to want an interactive type of application, what would happen is you would have the engine make all the outbound calls, and when you get an answer, then you can specify the name of the application here. The name of the application here could be, an interactive. So that's another type of, service that you can provide, and you yourself can create these survey applications based on your customer's needs. You can specify, say you called it the application, you called it survey, and you specify the name of that app here. From there, we do things like the time between calls. So in this case, we would wait if the person does not answer. What happens? So in this case, we would wait 60 minutes, before we make the next call. This is just a default value for that particular campaign. It's up to you if you want to keep it at 60. It could be, set to say another 2 or 3 hours. So that would change based on that. So it would go to 120 or 180 And then from there, you would specify the number of call attempts. So if they don't answer after X number of calls, then we consider that complete. So those are the radio buttons for that. Then what breaks down here at the very bottom are the messages that you're going to play. Now, our system uses a 4-digit number to name our messages. So in our case, say for example, my first message would be message 3000. So I would put message 3000 there, and message 3000 would be the name of the prompt that I'm going to play to my caller. It says, hey, we're calling you from the Conga room down at LA Live, and we want you to come see, Enrique Iglesias on Thursday, May 8th, and for tickets, call 213-413, 5555. There you go. There's your message. Call hangs up. You're done. You're not invoking an application. So in this case, this would be empty, and now you're going to rely on just messages. So it's not interactive. It's just informative.
Okay.
And you can have up to 8 different messages being played. From here, once you've filled out this information, you click on change to save it, or when you go to add calls, by clicking on the add calls, what that's going to do is it's going to bring you to a screen that is going to allow you to add the list to that particular campaign.
Okay.
So you're working on your particular campaign Ivan, and you go look for the list that you're going to use. You select that list, you click on add, and then automatically you click on go. And what that does is it sets it so it's ready to be used. The last step that you would do once this is done is once you come back into your campaigns is, here we see Ivan here. Click on enabled, and that'll automatically make the outbound. That'll start making the outbound calls. So that's that's in a rough 5-minute session how fast you're able to create that campaign. Now again, the difference is we see a type for V for voice. That's your voicemail campaign. Now if we go back to campaigns and create a new campaign. So when I click on the new campaign, we could create a new campaign, and it's going to be an SMS-based campaign. And then the SMS campaign, what it does, so if we change the radio button here, now we're going to go and say Ivan SMS, and then this will be Ivan's SMS campaign, and we click on add. The only difference here is we don't have the ability of specifying voice prompts. What we're doing is we're specifying the text message that we want to go out. We can still make it interactive. That still continues to be the case. And the nice part about that as well is you'll have the ability of giving the customer the sensation that they're really texting with a real person. And you can drive a entire conversation via text from the IVR. So again, those are the campaigns. You can also do things like I said, we can add the calls to the campaign. You can do a quick campaign, where in this case you can, if for testing purposes, or if you want to make a small campaign with a small list of numbers, you're able to you're able to put numbers in here one by one, and then specify 3 messages, complete, create, and start the campaign. So that's automatic. You're not putting in a start date or an end date. So from there, uploading voice files, uploading email templates. Your users, as I was stating earlier, that you'll have different users for the particular tenancy. The only difference is the power user will just have the ability of creating different tenants. They can use, of course, the microphone on a computer, record the WAV file, and then upload it that way. So when you record your message, use prompt, say prompt 7000. So when they call in the first time, it says, thank you for calling Ivan's telemarketer setup. Please enter your tenant ID. They enter 01. Please record the message you'd like to set up after the tone. And that's the beauty of this, is you have an entire application server behind that allows you to do things like that. A lot of other systems are just very vanilla, right? They only give you one functionality, and it's to make outbound calls, and there's nothing behind it. So from there, configurations, maintenance, you can purge the campaigns, back up your database, and delete email templates. And then there's also an entire array of reporting We have and again, because you're using the application server, there's a whole array of reports that are provided. Say, for example, if it is an interactive campaign. So here it's going to give you information on the number of calls you made, the attempts, how many were answered, how many were sent to voicemail. Some of our customers will use it for, if once they get the person on the line, they say, please hold, let me transfer you over to an operator. Or, we're calling them to say, hey, you haven't made your payment. Would you like to speak to an operator at this time to arrange for payment? They press 0, and then we can, basically have a counter that's going to increase that. No answer, busy, blacklisted, or error. So yeah, you would enter the phone number here. So there's a little search area here. You do search, and then that'll bring information for that particular phone number. So you're able to export the calls, and you're able to analyze it. And then again, like I was saying, there's an entire set of reports that can provide you with statistics. Like, say, for example, you have a campaign that calls out, and then you have a menu option that says press 1 for this, 2 for that, and 3 for the other. You can find out how many times they pressed 1, how many times they pressed 2, and how many times they pressed 3, so on and so forth. So those are things you can do. And going into, leaving this portal, when we go into OmniView, which is again the service creation environment of it, here's where you're going to be working. And I won't go too much into the administration. That falls into application servers, and you'll have a list of folders here. These are all the different components that make up this application server, that make up the entire solution. So that's just that folder has the application. So this is, I'm going to zoom out here a little bit so you can appreciate the call a little better. But this here is the call flow that's going to drive that outbound telemarketer. So each of these icons in here corresponds to a particular task, and they're coming from the tool palettes that I have available at the very top here. So if I click on this little blue phone here, it brings up all the IVR functionality that could be considered within an application. So anywhere from recording a name, playing a prompt, collecting digits, press 1 for this, press 2 for that, enter your account number. All these different things that could be considered interactive are coming from this tool palette here, all these icons that you see here. And if I close this a little quickly, you'll start to, it looks a lot like Visio, right? But the call would come in on my start icon. We gather call information, so we can look at the port we're using and the call ID that we're using. So in this case, it's automatic, so the call's not coming in, sorry, but we automatically generate the call. We invoke a store procedure, to the database. So we invoke a store procedure to bring back, the call. So find the next call. Right? We find the call. We bring that back up to this application. We have a call, and then we make that outbound call. And you're asking, for example, can I change the ANI? So here, where you ask about changing the ANI, here's where you can do that. So you can put whatever ANI you want, and we can set up a little bit of a table based on the campaign ID or the campaign that you're running or the tenant ID, what ANI you want to send out when you make a call. That could be a variable. So, each icon has either a successful route, a busy route, or not necessarily every icon has a busy, but we always have a success route or an error route, or what's the next route we're going to take. So if you notice here, for example, if it's success, we get an answer, and then we start playing the messages. If we get busy, there's different things we're going to go and update in the database to say, hey, it was busy, there was no answer, maybe there was an error where we weren't able to make the outbound call, or the resource group wasn't available because we didn't have any resources to make that outbound call. But once it's answered, you'll start to see here that these are the play messages. So play 1, play 2, play 3, and so on and so forth. So these are what I'm going to play from the front end, right? Where I specify. Remember, you asked me what are those IDs from 1 through 8. We're interpreting what you did in the website and now bringing it down to the application server that it's going to take that message and play it here. So it's going to use, go and play each message until it gets an answer. And once it gets the answer, then you know we drop the call. And then once there's end of call processing to update the database, so we know that it was a success, or it was blacklisted, don't try again, it was in use, a live person answered. So these are all for stats, right? No answer, busy, bad number, blacklisted, system error. So these are the different status codes that will now be updated back to the database. So when you run your reports, you're able to see, what happened for that particular call.
Okay.
Okay. Now, that was the voicemail. This is now the SMS. So this, instead of using a route call, we use the send SMS icon. And in this case, it's a form. All of our accounts are in a form, and you have the destination number, which is the number we're going to send the SMS to. The ANI. In this case, we're forcing it, but you can put whatever you want, like you were talking about earlier. The text message, that's a variable. The link, which is the link that we're going to be using, and then the message is sent out. And you can make it interactive, right? Where they're going back and forth based on what they enter. Then we can set a dialogue. I'll show you a little one application that does a dialogue here, which is an interactive one, right? The first message session arrives, so we receive the message. Then we're going to do some scripts, because you're able to invoke C functions, you're able to invoke Visual Basic scripts from the IVR, and then we can build our messages. So in this case, we create a variable that says at next message. We create the message that we want, and then we send it, right, in the next SMS message variable. Then what do? We wait for the guy to respond. He responds in a receive SMS. We parse out what they entered. We send the next message. So, as you can see, it's an interactive application based on text messages, giving the caller the sensation that they're might be texting with someone in particular when they're just texting with an IVR. So, here it says ask for amount. See where it's blue? It says ask for amount.
Mm-hmm.
So if I want to invoke this application from the telemarketer, what I would do is I'd go back to your campaign. Say for example, I click on Ivan, and then here I would put ask for amount. So now you have that intelligence of what you've created in this OmniView screen, the OmniView service creation moment for your application. And
Right.
that's really what I had prepared for you today.
We hope you have enjoyed this demonstration, and we look forward to working with you to create solutions which fit your needs. Contact Apex Sales to get started today.